everybody. My name is Lucky. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the last part, chapter 4, part 4 of How Celibacy Chose Me, and I'm so happy that you are here and that you made it to the last video. If you have not watched part 1 through part 3, please go back and check it out on my YouTube channel. It is part 1 through 4 is in the Celibacy. It's a series, so if you want to go back and watch that to catch up to see where I am now, it's your time to do so. So I'm gonna wait. All right, y'all should be here now. But thank you so much for joining me on this video. It has been a journey, and I'm just happy to be here making this last video. And let me tell you guys where we basically left off. I left off telling you guys about my last encounter with men and how I felt like I was the problem, and you know, a lot of men that I was running into. And well, the reason why I feel like I was the problem is because I kept wanting to be intimate with men that wasn't ready to be intimate with me, and I felt like the men that I was holding accountable in that space still need time to heal, and I wasn't being myself by not allowing them to have that space. So it was really challenging for me to connect with people at that time too, especially with men, because due to my trauma and everything of relationships, and just allowing myself to like just feel like I needed to be loved. But sometimes like you got to think like, how can these men, you know, go out here and seek these higher relationships and higher vibrational loving and all that stuff if, you know, they don't do it with themselves, if they don't create that space with themselves, if the world is constantly asking them to be the protector, to be the provider. Like it didn't seem fair to me at that time. So I went on and, you know, I just took it to the chin. I started you know, just being more productive and worrying about myself. And that's where I am now, like just worrying about myself and worrying about my journey, and just allowing myself to heal through, you know, this journey, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing about celibacy is it's a forever journey for me right now. Like I don't see myself beyond it at this current moment, because I am focusing more on myself, and I am trusting what's in front of me, like today, like now, working on projects and building my business and healing and worrying about my relationships and worrying about the people that mean the most to me, and building my idea of intimacy with myself instead of worrying about trying to build an outside of myself. I'm worrying about the inside of me. So if someone comes along, someone comes along. If they don't, they don't. Like I'm not too pressed about a relationship, although I still do have moments that just show me that I'm still human. Like I still crave, you know, talking to somebody, or being cuddled up and all that stuff, like, or just, you know, wanting that intimacy, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a human and I'm a woman and I have needs, and I deserve to get those needs met. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the day how I feel. Like I'm not about to sit up here and say like I would never want to have sex again because this is what it means to me. Like no, like that's not how it is. And that's why it's so liberating for me now to sit here and give y'all a 4-part series, because like I want to give y'all an example. Like this shit is not easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anything that you feel like you should be doing, or you feel like you need to do for yourself, is deeper than you. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to be one of those people who is such a hopeless romantic that they're willing to give up themselves and, you know, just love anybody and give them the most sacred parts of me if, you know, I haven't fully loved myself to the fullest capacity. And I don't want to give up on myself. I don't want the short-term love. Like I want that forever love. You feel me? Like what is it? Tracy Ross, like I can have a will of lovers. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you want somebody to make your life happier. You want somebody to bring joy, more joy into your life. You know what I'm saying? And right now I don't see that happening. Like like I said, I'm not losing hope or anything like that, but when you're in the present and you're working on yourself, you're also healing the relationships around you, and you're focusing on how you can build and bring more intimacy within those parts of your life, because sex is not the only type. That's one type of intimacy. Sex is one type of intimacy. It's not the full package or anything like that. So of course, like, when you're used to hearing about intimacy being this one way, like, you only want to see it that way. Like, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm involving myself and learning to be more intimate in my way by learning. Like, I love to learn. Like, I love learning about new cultures. I love learning about new esoteric type of things, astrology. Like, I'm just expanding myself. So along the journey of me expanding myself, like I said, if I meet somebody, if I meet somebody, that's fine. If I don't, that's cool too. So yeah, like, I don't want to use sex as a cheat code to get to somebody's heart, like, because I feel like that's really common a lot of days. Like, I'm just not. It's just not what I'm here for. So as far as where I am now, like, I'm at peace of where I am. Like I said, like, doing this story and expressing myself and seeing how many people that have reached out to me and, you know, connected with me and told me where they were, and I'm enjoying it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ultimately fulfilled one of my goals, is that I wanted to connect with other people, and I want people to connect with themselves and just be able to tell their story and be able to know that their pleasure matters. Like, and it's just like, I'm grateful. Like, I'm just grateful. So I also wanted to go into a few things that I had learned within this journey leading up to now. So I'm gonna grab my book. Like I mentioned before, let me see, hold on one second. Yeah, so sorry about that. But yes, just leaning into it, the first thing I learned, which I mentioned, was relationships are spiritual. That's one of the things that I learned by reading this book here that I mentioned, The Spirit of Intimacy, Ancient African Teachings and the Ways of Relationships by Lord Sobenfu Somé. This book is so amazing, and I'm gonna read the part that really got me. It says, intimacy in general terms is a song of spirit inviting two people to come and share their spirit together. It is a song that no one can resist. We hear it while we're awake and sleeping, in community or alone. We cannot ignore it. There is a spiritual dimension to every relationship, no matter what its region, whether it's acknowledged as spiritual or not. Two people come together because spirit wants them together. What is important now is to look at the relationship as a spirit-driven instead of driven by the individual. And when I read that, it just made me think of my past relationships, right? Like, including my ex and all the other men that I've spoken to, or even like platonic relationships as well. Like, no matter what that relationship was or how it turned out, like, I still learned from them. I still learned a part of myself, a part of my love language. I was able to explore that with those people. So I ultimately learned more about myself that I can carry now and take and receive and move forward. Like, I don't have to be stuck. I don't have to be stuck on that one thing or that one person. Like, I can move forward and I can connect with the person, you know, I can connect with somebody else moving forward. Like, I'm grateful for that. Like, and it took me a minute to accept that, because especially if you're really interested in somebody, like, who wants to, like, jeopardize a connection? And it's so funny because recently I just posted Erykah Badu interview with I think it was Hot 97, and she was answering questions, and this one girl asked like, how do you continuously love, and like, you've gotten your heart broken, I'm sure you have, and you know, excuse me, like, how do you continuously love in this space, like, and Erica, she was basically like, you know, I don't, like, I'm led by love, and by me being led by love, like, I'm able to connect with these people, like, and she said it before, like, it wasn't always like that for her, but she now knows that, you know, not every person that she met was supposed to be her boyfriend. Like, sometimes people come in our lives to teach us lessons and they leave. Like, some people are literally here for a season and only a few reasons. So it's like, that's really a huge thing that I learned reading this book and just reflecting on my past and just remembering what I've been through, and just allowing spirit to like move through me through all those relationships that I had previously. The second thing I learned is rejection is God's protection. And this just brought me back to the last guy that I had a really grand crush on. And the more we started to talk and become more intimate, I basically told him that I liked him, and unfortunately he wasn't looking for that. And as I continued to talk to him, he ended up ghosting me, which activated like feelings of like, damn, like, you don't want me, you don't want this, like, why you don't want this, like, what I do, like, it just makes you feel very inadequate. Like, it's not the best feeling, but you know, rejection is God's protection. Like, maybe I'm not supposed to be with that person, or maybe that person has their standards too, and that's the thing that I had to, like, that person had, like, that he has his own standards. Like, people who don't want to fuck with you have their own standards. So sometimes it's not you, it's just like, you're not the one, you're not their type, and that's fine. Like, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, physically, like, you're not their type, and that's okay. Like, people have their own set of standards and preferences, and sometimes you don't meet those, and that's perfectly fine. And that was a really hard pill to swallow, because especially when you like someone, ooh. And it's also taught me a lot about my my attachment style, because I'm an ancient preoccupied, so I'm working towards being more secure. So that helped me dive a lot more into it, and be more in tune when I get anxious. Like, what is this triggering in me, like, to make me feel like this, like I need this person in my life so very much, like. And that's basically what one of the things that I'm doing now is learning more about my attachment style. And you know, I met this bomb ass therapist slash like health coach, and she's like called the attachment goat, because her name is Taylor Chandler, and she, like, her workshops have taught me so much about my attachment style. And like I said, healing is never easy. You're gonna have to like reconcile with a lot of feelings that you have inside you in order to stay present, and just you know, build a solid relationship with self in order to move forward in a healthy, secured relationship. So that relationship, the last guy that I really liked, like, that taught me that, like, lucky, like, that was like my, I want to say nigga, like, that was the final stage of self-love for me. Like, you know, when you fighting the Bowser, I feel like that was the last one that I had to fight to get to myself, the one that opened my eyes, and I was like, I see you, I see what you're doing, you ghost me, and now that you ghost me, like, why did you ghost me? Like, oh, you said this to get me at this moment, like, oh, okay, it's kind of like it's like your last, like, I'm not taking this shit no more. Like, and that was it for me. I was like, yeah, no, like, I'm not about to sit up here and act like I don't see what's right in front of me. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and act like, you know, I'm just oblivious to what the fuck you're doing and how I'm acting and what the things that you're saying to make me this way. Like, how you know what you're doing. It's like very, so yeah, that was my nigga. Like, I see you. and I beat them. And here I am loving on myself. So, so that taught me that. And this leads me to my third thing is, this is the big one. You do not have to share everything with your friends. And this was a huge one because it got in the way of my liberation, it basically rewired my whole idea of my celibacy journey. Not to say that I was never grateful for the advice that my friends gave me or my family gave me or anybody gave me, but it got in the way of me figuring out my own journey and exploring it myself. Like, my friends, mostly all my friends are sexually active, and I only had one friend at the time who wasn't celibate. I think she was like 2 years. We were talking about it, which was nice to have in the beginning. So, but she ended up getting into something herself, and she worked herself through it, which I was very proud of. And it was also liberating to watch her go through her journey as well. But like, a lot of my friends did not share the same morals or anything as me. So it's like I'm going to somebody else's path to understand my own, and it just really conflicted me. And that's why I came into like this huge revelation, like, Lucky, like, you need to attach how you feel and how you perceive things to your situation. Like, you cannot continuously invite other people into your shit because they're not gonna understand it as much as you do. So that's a huge thing to learn to connect with, because I wouldn't be making these videos right now. I wouldn't be connecting with y'all, and I wouldn't be up here talking my shit if it wasn't for me coming to that resolution. Like, not everybody gets to ride this ride, physically and emotionally and spiritually, baby. Like, but not everybody gets to ride this ride, okay? Like, you cannot take everybody with you. Like, you gotta open your mind, open your third eye, and see ahead of you. Like, you can't, not everybody gets to come with you. And that also affected a few of my relationships, because like I said before in the last video, like, I didn't want to feel like a burden, but I knew that I was being one, because I was like, oh, how does this feel? Like, it was just too much. And that can ruin relationships, and it also made me be judgmental towards their actions, because I'm up here not having sex and not having these experiences, and I may be jealous, or I may come off judgmental because we're not having those same type of vibes and energies, but you never know until you wake up and see it for yourself. Like, yo, like, Lucky, like, the only thing that makes this difference is a choice. So chill the fuck out. So it's a lot of self-checking. What's the next thing that I learned? This is also important too. Like, it's boundaries, because looking back on certain situations, sometimes we forget that some people had us fucked up. Some people really had us fucked up. And I'm the type of person who likes to I like to take accountability first. So it's easier for me to look at the situation and be like, yo, like, what can I do better? How did I me did. But no, sometimes people had me fucked up. And that's why boundaries became my #1 priority, because it had to be. Like, people, like, if you are one of those type of people who take accountability and is on your healing journey, you have to understand that not everything is your fault. It takes 2 people to tango. Like, it is not always your fault. Like, that connection that, y'all had with miscommunication, maybe you could have heard it different, but they also could have explained it better. Like, maybe they should never use the tone, or maybe they should have been more communicative. Like, it's so much that I'm looking back on, and I'm like, wow, like, people really had me fucked up. Like, although, like, I was going through this, and I'm being more observant of where I am and how I feel, like, no, like, some people really had me fucked up, and I had every right to create these boundaries, cut people off, or block people, or unfollow people, whatever the fuck. Like, and that was from every aspect, because you are going to disconnect from people in order to grow and receive more healing, more blessings. And this was also a blessing in disguise, because once I disconnected from those people, like I met a great community of people who were able to support me in my journey, in my spiritual journey, in my heart and my soul. And like I said, now, which brought me present to actually working on my present relationships and what I have now to keep on blossoming and growing into the person that I want to be. So yes, that was a huge one. And the last thing that I learned is, what I'm doing now in the celibacy journey, is bigger than me. I'm healing traumas that doesn't belong to me. These are traumas within my bloodline. These may be connected to my parents, my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents. Like, it's a lot of shit that I'm feeling. And this was like more recently. Like, it's a lot of shit that I'm feeling, that I'm dealing with, that may not be mine. So it's important for me to have moments where I'm sitting down and I'm journaling, and I know what my energy feels like versus, how I feel with the heaviness and me crying, having crying spells and shit. Like that stuff is important, because like, it's just so much going on in the world, and you don't want to have the same experience, like connecting with relationships, and who would ever think that I'd be at the point where I'm learning about my attachment style, and I'm seeing the effects that has on my commitment issues and how I want to connect and communicate with my partner. Like, it's just, I feel like me healing like this is fair. Like, I'd rather have a secure relationship, or try my damnedest to have one, right? And be in my wholeness when I'm receiving love, and when I'm giving love, like, you know what I'm saying, or just give my type of love a try, you know what I'm saying. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is what my life calling is, or what I'm supposed to do, like, because I'd be damned to feel like, I'm the only one who feels like this on my earth. Like, we got books like this that are being written, you know what I'm saying. Like, we have books about attachment. We have books about, the body keeping score. We have books called All About Love. Like, so it's like, I'll be damned to feel like I'm the only one who doesn't feel like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I feel like I'm unraveling so much within my journey that belong to my ancestors, that, the stories that they may not even have realized that was causing them so much pain. Like, this shit ends with me. And that's how serious I am about my journey, and that's how serious I am about helping people, supporting people in their self-love journey, and that's how serious I am about just being with myself, and just learning that, I'm a dope ass person, and that not anybody deserves my energy. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people out here who are in need of healing, who deserves to heal, deserves to connect with their mental health and their emotions and their physical body. Like, it's just a lot. Like, sex is a very complicated thing to talk about, and I feel like the more I go along this journey, the more I'm sure I'll find out. Like, hell, who knows, it might be a part 5. But like I said before, like, this was really interesting to see myself evolve through these times. Like, these last 4 years have been amazing, and I don't regret them at all. Like, and I feel like if I did have regrets, that would just leave me in loops. So it's like, I don't have time to regret, like, when I have so much to learn about myself. So like I don't know, I'm just grateful to be actually able to share all of this and just be here, you know what I'm saying, and finally blossoming into this beautiful flower that I see myself turning into, being able to connect with myself, being able to connect with my voice, being able to just be truthful, like, you know what I'm saying, and where I am and what I've been through. So again, I thank each and every one of y'all who listen and who has, I hope that you've learned something through this journey. Like, and don't be afraid to, like, reach out to me and ask me more questions. Like, I may need to make another video to clarify some things. Like, you never know. So, but I'm just grateful to be able to wrap this part of my life. Like I said, I feel like I've met my match in a sense, to where I know who I am and I know where I'm going right now, and I'm focusing more on myself and I'm expanding myself and I'm not limiting myself. I'm allowing myself to grow and flow, and relationships that need to be ended, and I'm not allowing anybody or anyone, excuse me, to knock me off of that path, because I'm always going to be on a self-love journey. Like, that's just lucky. That's just me. Like, I'm always learning about myself. So, thank you so much, like, for just being here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank yourself too, because sometimes I know it's hard to click on the video that you don't know shit about, and it's hard for people to come into that, you know what I'm saying, energy with you. Like I said, sex is a very complicated thing to talk about. But like I said, if you have made it this far, I'm going to end this video here. If you have not checked out videos 1 through 3, please do. Thank you so much. And I love you. Enjoy. Bye.